Did you know that your kids might actually want you to be setting up parental controls? I'm Emily Chow with Plugged In, and today I'm going to teach you how to set up parental controls for YouTube. One study found that 65% of kids ages 11 to 16 years old are actually in favor of parental controls. So you're not a bad parent if you set these up. Your child is not going to hate you. However, this is Plugged In, so I'm always going to tell you that the first thing you need to do is not set up the parental controls, it's have a conversation with your kid. When you have these conversations with your child, you build a relationship with them, you build trust, and it helps them to understand why you might set up parental controls. Usually it's to protect them, not to set up so many boundaries that they can't do anything. You want your child to be able to explore, you want them to be able to explore safely, and you want them to know what content is safe and what content isn't. One of the best ways to do that is to set up parental controls, because then they can learn from a young age, this is content that is safe and appropriate for my age, this is content that is not. So the first thing I'm going to point out about YouTube is that there's actually two different versions of YouTube, regular YouTube and YouTube Kids. YouTube Kids is designed for children who are ages 12 and under. The videos themselves are a little more geared towards younger audiences, so children who are 9 and older might ask you for regular YouTube with a supervised experience. A supervised experience up until age 13 allows the parent to control the level of content that their child can be exposed to. Once they hit 13, your child can opt out of a supervised experience. You'll be notified, but you won't really have any say-so in the matter. Again, this is why we have conversations with our kids. You can continue the supervised experience past age 13, but you and your child have to agree that that is the boundary that's going to be set. And again, not because you don't trust them, but because you want to protect them. That's why it's so important to have these conversations with your kids and to create a place where they feel comfortable coming to you with stuff that makes them feel uncomfortable, that feels wrong, that basically they watch a video and they're like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be watching this. Mom, Dad, this made me feel bad. What do I do? And that's another thing we're going to discuss in this video, how to block and report content that makes your child feel uncomfortable, or even content that you feel uncomfortable with as the parent. So today, as I show you how to set up all these controls, just note I am using mobile devices. It's very similar if you do it on a web browser or a computer, but for the most part, you're going to want to use the YouTube app and the YouTube Kids app. So we're going to start with the youngest age possible, ages 0 all the way up to 12 with a YouTube Kids profile. In the YouTube app, go ahead, log into your YouTube account. Once you're logged in, you want to go to the settings, which is going to be in the top right or top left of your screen. From the Family Center, you want to add a YouTube Kids profile. By setting up a YouTube Kids profile this way, you bypass the need to create an account for your child. It allows you to monitor everything from your parent account under a child's profile. Once you've done this, you can add your child's name and age. In the next step, it'll ask you to choose an age restriction. Usually it's going to base that upon the age that you already entered, but you can change it at any time. The options that you're going to have are preschool, which is ages 4 and under, younger, which is ages 5 to 8, and older, which is ages 9 to 12. Keep in mind that all of this content is generally considered safe for kids. It's content that was created directly for children. So if you see something that you don't want your kid to watch, you need to block or report it. Another option that you're going to have while you're in there creating your child's profile is whether or not you want them to be able to search for content. If you turn it off, then anything that they see will just be based upon browsing. If you turn it on, that allows your child to explore more of YouTube Kids, and if you block something, they might realize that you blocked it. Once you've finished creating your child's profile, you can update other settings, such as whether or not you're going to allow the algorithm to recommend videos to them. You can block that by turning off their watch history and their search history. You can also clear their watch history so that the algorithm isn't suggesting videos to them. After you've set up this profile, you can open the YouTube Kids app. From here, you're going to log into your own YouTube account. If you've already set up the profile, as I just mentioned in the YouTube app, then you can simply click on that child's profile and start watching. If you haven't though, and you skip that step, you can create new profiles right here as well. Once you've logged into a YouTube Kids profile, it tends to stay locked into that profile. The only way to get out of it is by solving a multiplication problem. By going into the settings of a YouTube Kids profile, it makes you verify that you're an adult by solving a times table. Obviously, older kids might know their times tables and it wouldn't work on them. However, you as the parent, when you set up the account, can set a unique passcode. As long as you don't share it with your kids, they won't be able to go in and make changes to their YouTube Kid profile. So when you go in, solve the math problem, and then in those settings, set up a unique passcode. Other things you can do in the settings are set time limits for how long your child can use the app. You can create additional profiles for other children in your family. And if you click on the child's profile, you can adjust the age limit settings, or you can even delete the profile. One last thing, if you go in to adjust those age settings, you can also create a unique experience where you get to approve all of the content yourself. That is the most customized and safe way to do it, but it is a little more time consuming. You will have to go in and approve certain channels and videos to get your child started. If you do come across inappropriate content in YouTube Kids, it's pretty easy to report it. On any video, there's going to be 3 dots in one of the corners. If you click on those dots, a menu will pop up where you can report or block the video. If you decide later that you don't want a video or a channel to be blocked, all you have to do is go back to those settings that we already mentioned and click Unblock Video. Lastly, if you'd like to review what your child has been watching, you need to open up the YouTube Kids app on the device that they've been using. You want to click on the tab that says Your Stuff and then click Watch It Again. This will show you all of the videos that your child has watched on that device. And that's actually a great place for you to go in and make those decisions about, you know what, we're going to block this video. It was annoying. It was uneducational. It was insert reason for why you want to block it. You don't really need a reason. You're the parent. So that pretty much covers all the YouTube Kids controls. Now you want to go into YouTube proper. What you're going to want to do is set up a supervised experience. In order to do that, you do have to create a Google account for your child. If your child is age 12 or under, it will automatically ask you to link it to a parent account for the supervised experience. If your child is age 13 or older, there's going to be an extra step, which I'll go over later. For kids who are ages 12 and under, in order to set up additional parental controls with the supervised experience, you need to open the YouTube app, click on the settings icon, and then click Family Center. From there, you will see their account. By clicking on their account, you're given 3 different options here. Explore, which generally aligns with content ratings for viewers ages 9 and up. Explore More, which is content ratings for viewers ages 13 and up. And then Most of YouTube, which is almost all of the content that's on YouTube except for the restricted content that I mentioned way earlier in this video. You can change these settings at any time. Some other features that you can control here are to disable autoplay, pause the watch history, pause the search history, and clear history. Those 4 settings, when disabled, will prevent the algorithm from recommending videos to your child. If you want to review your child's watch history, you'll actually need the device that they've been using to watch YouTube. From there, you're going to open up a web browser and go to myactivity.google.com. For kids who are ages 13 and older, Google allows them to control their YouTube experience. However, as I already mentioned, you can still make their account supervised. Once again, if you're in the YouTube app, clicked on Settings, clicked on Family Center, underneath the button that says Open a YouTube Kids profile, there's a button that says Invite a Teen. Click on that button and follow the prompts on screen to invite your teen to be supervised. Once your teen accepts, their profile will show up in the Family Center just like any other kid's profile. However, you're not going to have as much control here. Pretty much the only thing you can do if your kid is 13 or older is turn on restricted mode. However, if you want to check their viewing history, you can still go to myactivity.google.com on their device to figure out what they've been watching and maybe have a conversation about it. You can help block or report videos from there as well. Once again, restricted mode pretty much just means it's going to block any content that's deemed only suitable for viewers 18 and older. So there's one last way that you can block videos for your kids from your own YouTube profile. If you're watching a video or a channel that you think is inappropriate, click on the 3 dots and click Block Channel for Kids. You'll be able to select which children you'd like to block that channel for. However, once again, because of the limited controls for kids who are ages 13 and older, it won't apply to them, just the kids who are 12 and under. So that pretty much wraps up everything you need to know about YouTube. Remember, if you want to set up parental controls, YouTube Kids is for ages 0 to 12, and then regular YouTube is for kids ages 13 and older, although you can technically set it up for kids ages 9 to 12. Keep in mind that if you do set up an account for a younger child, once they hit age 13, they can disable the supervised experience. Again, this is why you definitely want to be having conversations with your kids, because even if you do have a supervised experience, kids are pretty much able to get around a lot of this stuff. They could open YouTube in a different web browser, they could access it through an older sibling's account, they could even access it through your own account if you haven't properly protected your passwords and passcodes. So make sure that if you set those things up, you don't share them with your children. That's one of the best ways to protect them from seeing content that might not be appropriate for them. In a nutshell, when it comes to parental controls, it's not about setting up all of these blocks and reports and restrictions. It's about creating a relationship with your child so that they feel safe browsing things online and you feel safe letting them. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, I'm Emily Chow with Plugged In. For more details on YouTube parental controls, be sure to check out the link in the description. And for more information on anything to do with entertainment, media, or technology, be sure to check out pluggedin.com.